Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session that was for a gentleman who had anxiety linked to women. And it was the idea of meeting someone new or perhaps being in a relationship with a woman. And part of this came from quite a upsetting, not just a breakup, but the way that the relationship ended was due to certain health conditions where he evaluated that perhaps she would be interested in someone, quote unquote, better than him. So there was this real fear of rejection, a fear of abandonment, and that led to an evaluation that anything that was like that could somehow be a cause of anxiety or distress. So you'll hear a hypnosis session designed to deal with that in a variety of ways, partly using metaphor, partly using direct suggestion, and interacting with the part that clearly had a desire to protect, but almost based on a false evaluation, a false belief system as to what was actually happening at that particular point in time. This session was created for a very, individual circumstance. So if you're listening to this and you have a fear of women or a fear of the opposite sex, this might not be perfect for you just because it was created for someone else. So there will be a link in the show notes that you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation call to explore what it would be like to work with me directly. But you might find that there is enough direct positive suggestions in here to make a definite difference to the quality of your life if you have a fear like this. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow those eyelids to completely relax, releasing any tension in and around the eyes. As you breathe in, imagine breathing in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just getting a sense that any feelings of tension, worry, or stress is leaving your body in your outward breath. That's right. Continue to breathe in and breathe out. And I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a place on a different planet. This is a paradise planet. And I want you to imagine on this paradise planet, perhaps in a different galaxy, a different part of the universe, there is higher levels of oxygen in the air. And you are surrounded by plants that give off certain fragrances and certain healing properties. And this is a safe paradise. And as you breathe in, I want you to accept the suggestion that being in this place is healing you. Breathing in the air, I want you to imagine on this planet, there are 2 different suns. In the same way that on the planet Earth you can extract vitamin D from the sun's rays, I want you to imagine here on this planet, there are additional vitamins that scientists haven't even discovered yet. And as you enjoy the fresh, clean air, I want you to imagine that these suns giving you the warmth on your skin are giving you nutrients that aren't even known here on planet Earth, healing your skin, healing your blood, healing your internal organs, giving you a sense of incredible vitality and energy. Here on this paradise planet, I want you to imagine seeing a fruit tree. You already know that there are foods that heal and foods that harm. And I want you to imagine that this is the most nutritionally dense fruit on this paradise planet, containing micronutrients, minerals, and healing properties that would make something very nutritious like an avocado there in planet Earth look like the equivalent of a slice of bread. I want you to imagine biting into this delicious, tasty fruit. Maybe it's a strange color, a strange texture, but accept the suggestion that this fruit is the most nutritionally dense, with more healing properties than any fruit that exists. And there you are eating this fruit. I want you to imagine that this fruit is healing you from the insides. Imagine going into your stomach and healing your stomach. And then picture this healing fruit, which digests rapidly, going into your small intestine and then your large intestine. And imagine that as it goes down the intestine, it's healing your gut from the inside. I want you to imagine eating more of this fruit, feeling the warmth of these 2 suns on your skin, breathing in the high oxygen levels of this amazing surrounding. And then I want you to imagine there is a hammock here in this paradise between 2 strangely shaped trees. And just imagine that you're resting on this hammock going for a nap, still allowing the healthy oxygen, the nutrients, the rays from the sun to just give you all of these healing properties. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1 and you will imagine what it would be like to fall asleep there in this paradise planet. 5, eyelids getting heavier and heavier. 4, muscles in your face, neck and shoulders just letting go of any feelings of tension. 3, feeling relaxation go all the way down your arms to your fingers. And as you breathe in, feel that all of your internal organs are relaxing. 2, that relaxation going into your legs. And 1 into your toes as you imagine falling asleep on this hammock, in this paradise, in this strange but wonderful healing planet. And I want you to imagine, while you're on that hammock, inside your own dream, you're imagining there is a doorway to your own private cinema. Imagine this private cinema is on this strange planet. And I want you to imagine walking into the cinema and finding the most comfortable seat you can find with a view of the screen. But this is a strange cinema. There is not 1 but 3 screens in this cinema. There is a screen to the left, a screen in the center, and a screen to the right. And these screens represent different times in your life. I want you to imagine the screen on the left perhaps was a time when you were a child and there was no anxiety, no fear of women whatsoever. It was simply something that wasn't even on your radar back then. And I want you to imagine yourself perhaps as a young child being around women, completely oblivious to any idea that there would be any fear or anxiety. And if you can see that younger version of you without any fear and anxiety whatsoever, there on the left-hand screen, just let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to imagine looking to the screen on the right. And the screen on the right is you 1 year from now. And it's you doing things that give you evidence that you have no fear of women whatsoever. Perhaps you can see yourself maybe in a relationship, maybe dating, maybe doing something that gives you 100% evidence that the version of you in the future has no anxiety, trepidation, no fears, no worries whatsoever. And if you can see that future version of you without any fears and concerns, just let me know by nodding your head. And then for the middle screen, we're going to change the perspective. Keep your physical body there on that chair, but take your imagination to the projection booth, right to the top, behind the final seats, and imagine you're looking at that projection booth through bulletproof glass. I want you to check the thickness of the glass and know that you're in the projection booth, and nowhere near the screen. You can see all three screens, but you're not near the screen. And then I want you to see on that middle screen, almost like you're an actor in a movie, a moment in time where you had anxiety and fear, and it was linked to being with a woman. When you can see that on the screen, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to play it forward. Imagine something before there was any anxiety. See yourself with no anxiety whatsoever, and then see something happen, maybe some kind of communication, interaction, an incident. And you can tell from your facial expressions or your behavior that there was genuine anxiety in that version of you back then at that time. And then play it forward. Play it forward until after the incident, the event, until there was yet again no anxiety. And keep playing that movie again and again, just so you have a clear idea of the sequence of events. What happened first, and then next, and then what followed, until a time after the event, and yet again there was no anxiety. And once you've seen that and you know the sequence, let me know by nodding your head. And now I want you to imagine, because you're in the projection booth, you can watch this scene happening backwards, like you've got a rewind function. Imagine it starting at the end, and then imagine seeing yourself walking backwards, talking backwards, doing everything backwards, until it all happens and stops before it had even begun. And once you've seen that happening backwards, Watch it again backwards, but slightly faster. And then when it's got to the end, which is actually the beginning, jump back to the end. And again, watch it all happening backwards there on screen in your own private cinema. And when you've done that several times, you know exactly the sequence as to what happens when you see it backwards. Just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to take it to the end and pause it at the end of that scene. And then imagine teleporting from the projection booth into that version of you at the end of the scene when there is no anxiety. Remember what you were doing back then, your surroundings, but feel like you're back in your body. There is no anxiety because it's after the event. And this time I want you to imagine it all happens backwards while you're in your own body. Imagine thinking backwards, moving backwards, talking backwards. Everything happened backwards, but from a first-person perspective. You're in your own body and someone else has the rewind button, and you're imagining how it feels when everything happens backwards. And when it gets to the beginning, before the event even happened, just let me know by nodding your head. Jump back to the end and rewind it again while you're still in your own body. Imagine the weirdness of walking backwards, of having a conversation backwards, of everything happening backwards. Make it faster this time and then jump back to the end and make it even faster. Getting faster and faster and just happening backwards. Scrambling this moment in your mind until nothing makes sense. And this last time I want you to make it so fast that you feel that everything happens backwards until you're so far back in the past. You remember what it was like to be you in the first screen as a child with no fear whatsoever, and evaluate how it feels to have no fear of women at all. Notice how you were breathing, what you were thinking, your muscle tension, your body language, your heart rate, any feelings in your legs, your head, your gut. And notice that you can feel completely okay around any woman. Jump back in the end of the scene in that movie again and then rewind it all, but rather than going back to a child, go back to you before the event happened and still feel that feeling of being completely and totally at ease, calm, cool, collected. And when everything happens backwards and you're in the version of you that is cool, calm, and collected, no anxiety whatsoever, just let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to teleport back to the projection booth, seeing a cool, calm, collected version of you at the beginning of that same scene. And I want you to play it forward this time, seeing yourself on screen, but seeing a different version of you. A version of you that is not insecure, not anxious, not worried at all. Imagine you on screen is like an actor and it's a different character that you're playing now. And I want you to play it forward, seeing yourself doing it as you would have wanted to have done it back then. Perhaps with a new belief. A belief that you don't need to control. You don't need to evaluate what other people do. See yourself as calm and confident, handling that same situation. And when you've played it forward on screen, seeing it from the projection booth, and it gets to the end, just let me know by nodding your head. That's right. Jump back to the beginning, and remember you're the director of this movie. So again, change it again. so it's exactly as you would want it to have been back then. Seeing yourself confident and calm and at ease, full of acceptance. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You will respond to what happens rather than trying to control what happens. Each time making you more and more confident, more and more calm, more and more in control of your own emotions. And when you've seen it on screen, exactly as you want it to be, let me know by nodding your head. Take it right to the beginning of the scene, pause it, and then teleport back into that character, feeling how good it feels to be cool and calm and confident. And now play it forward in the first person perspective that you are the character. You're reliving that scene, but you're reliving it as you wanted it to be. Notice how slowly you breathe, how relaxed your neck and your shoulders are, how clear your thinking is. There's no frantic inner dialogue. You're almost assessing the situation, just evaluating what's going on. You know your value comes from who you are at your core, not any temporary moment in time. And as you play it forward, get to have the conversations as you wanted to have the conversations. Get to deal with the situations as you wanted to deal with the situations. Relive the moment as you want to relive the moment. And then when you get to the end, jump back to the beginning and try a different variation. Try all different things until you find the ideal version of you. The version of you that is cool, calm, collected, confident, in control. Jump back to the beginning and play it forward again from a first-person perspective. And once you've done that and you've made it as you wanted it to be, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to jump back to the beginning, and this time, change the situation to make it a different person at a different time, but feel that you're in your body doing it as you would want to do it. Having a conversation, making decisions, making choices, doing things as you would want to do them. Notice that you're breathing calmly, clear in a dialogue. Your gut feels healthy. Your legs feel strong and stable. Your shoulder and neck feels limp, loose and relaxed. You're breathing deeply, completely relaxed, naturally. And when you've experienced it as you want to experience, let me know by nodding your head. Jump back to the beginning and again, change the situation. It could be another situation that used to trigger an emotion, or it could be a brand new situation that you haven't experienced yet. Keep playing it forward as you want it to be, feeling connected with that resourceful state of being confident around women, feeling that you can communicate how you want to communicate, feeling that your body posture and your facial expressions are exactly as you want them to be, confident and relaxed, holding eye contact, smiling if you feel like smiling, walking away if you feel like walking away, doing it on your terms. Play it again and again until, no matter what the situation you have, you can feel that you can do it exactly as you want to do it. And when all parts agree that you are now connected to a belief system that you don't need the validation, the approval, the attachment, that you are worthy and good enough and acceptable, irrespective of the decisions around you, and that you have confidence that you can handle things in the present and the future the way you would want to. Just let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine it's been this way for a whole year. And then I want you to jump into that version of you in the screen on the right, doing the thing that you saw when you first saw the cinema screens that convinced you that you've got over this fear and have got over it for a long period of time. Imagine what it feels like to be doing the thing that gives you evidence that this fear, this anxiety is banished. It's an echo of a time in your life where things weren't going the way you wanted them to, but that has long since passed. There was a time in your life when you didn't know how to read, didn't know how to write, didn't know how to walk. So you can accept that change happens over time. And now in this future version of you, you've experienced this for a long period of time, at least a year, of doing things the way that you want to do them. And then imagine jumping back to the cinema screen, now seeing all three screens, you looking resourceful and confident around women. You as a child, no fear. You in the present, no fear. And you in the future doing something that convinces you that you've been over this fear for a long time. Move away from the projection booth into that version of you sat in that comfortable chair, seeing all three screens. And when all parts accept that the past, the present, and the future is now activating the resources for you to be confident and calm and relaxed around women, just let me know by nodding your head. Now it's time to leave the cinema. And you do leave the cinema. You open a door and you find yourself on a paradise planet. And you see someone that looks just like you on a hammock between two strange-looking fruit trees. Climb in that version of yourself, but notice how healthy you look there in that hammock. Climb into your own body, reconnecting with the conscious. And now it's time to leave. Leave this incredible planet, breathing in that healthy, clean air, feeling the multiple suns, healthy rays on your skin, and taking a few more bites of that nutritious healing fruit, healing your insides, giving you a feeling of health and healing in every cell of your body. Now it's time to leave this place as you recognize that this is thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, as you return to the present listening to my voice. But you take all those changes with you, particularly the change where you evaluate that you are healing, and you evaluate that your resources enable you to be confident and calm around women, irrespective of the circumstances. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, all parts of you here in the present. As I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken, tapping into all of these resources, feeling more relaxed and feeling that changes in your mind will soon become changes in your reality. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.